Good day, everybody. It is the 24th of April, 2025, and we are very excited to have everybody here. And we're having Mandi Minnaar. She's going to present the first time today, and we're very excited about that. So I just want to quickly welcome everybody, and then just mention quickly before we start that none of the people are here are professional speakers. We don't work for LifeWave. We're not employed by them. We are brand partners who love using these patches and who's got great results, and we just want to share our excitement with other people. So I want to tell you about myself quickly, introduce myself. My name is Amanda Uys. I live in Grootbrak in the Garden Route. I live on a farm, and I just love that part of the story because it means that I can do my business and reach people from the farm working online, and even if you don't get near people physically, you can still reach people, and I'm so grateful for that. So I heard about LifeWave in January last year. I thought it was a lot of nonsense. I couldn't believe that anybody would be interested in sticking patches on people, and I thought that was nonsense. So, and then my sister started with it, and she got great results. And despite her great results, I was actually angry at her for starting with such nonsense. And then in March last year, I got COVID, and I got very, very sick. And after 4 weeks, I could still not work. I could not really get out of bed at that stage. And at one stage, I said to my husband, please just go and walk with me. So these four walls are just, killing me. Let me just get out of the house. I did that. Sorry, can I just ask that everybody mute themselves as well, please? Sorry, I couldn't get out of the house and went walking with my husband, and 150 meters later, my heart wanted to jump out of my chest. And that was so scary because I knew I had to earn an income for myself, but I couldn't even walk 150 meters. My sister sent me patches. I couldn't afford it. And she sent me the patches, and I put the first patch on the back of my neck on the Saturday morning, fell asleep. 2 hours later, when I woke up, I had no more symptoms whatsoever. And I didn't believe it. I thought I just had a good sleep, but 2 days later, I thought, let me just see if I can maybe walk that 150 meters again. I went walking in the mountains on the farm with my dog, and 1.5 kilos later, there was still nothing wrong with me. And 4 days later, when I looked on my watch, 9,000 steps on my watch. And since then, my life changed. I'm just patching whoever I can patch, telling everybody. And in the meantime, I've had my kidney functions improve. My husband's thyroid medication was halved. My husband's hair is growing. I've got this amazing pictures. I can't believe it. My skin has improved. I'm sleeping, and I can't keep quiet because it's changing lives all over the world. And I'm very excited about that. So I'm going to give over to Mandi. Mandi, I'm just going to ask 1 minute to introduce yourself. And when we get to the testimonies time, I'd love you to share your testimony, properly, because, you've got such an amazing testimony. So Mandi's going to start with just tell us who she is, and then we're going to go over to she's going to tell us more about the patches itself and how that works. Thank you, Mandi.
Thanks so much, Amanda. Hi, everybody. My name is Mandi. I live in Durban in South Africa. And I was introduced by Trish to LifeWave in May last year. But I'm a bit of a slow starter, so it took me a while to get patching. I eventually started patching the beginning of February this year and have had the most incredible results. And I can't wait to share my testimony because, like Amanda said, it's just helps so many people, and you just know that with a patch you can begin to change someone's life, and it's such a privilege to be able to do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mandi. I'm going to start the sharing. If you guys will just be a little bit patient. This is always the part that really scares me and puts me on my nerves, because then it doesn't want to do what I wanted to do. It's doing the same thing again as last time. Give me a sec. Oh my word, where are we going now? It seems like Amanda didn't do everything that she was supposed to do. So that's why everything's not here yet. Give me a second. I think the video may not show now, so we'll just see. Let's see. Can you hear anything? No. Okay. Okay, Mandi, we can just start here, please. Thanks a lot.
So this point in the presentation, we like to just begin by asking people whether you have been patched yet. And so I know that there are some people on the call that have, and there's some people that are just starting, some people that are still deciding. So that's really the beginning point. Once you have, like I said earlier, once you've been patched, you are on the road to just your life changing. So yeah, thanks, Amanda. So before we start, we obviously want to make sure that we understand that LifeWave is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. It's really a wellness product that, and we'll explain a little bit more about that, but it is not something that will diagnose, treat, or cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. And so, like with anything, that you have to sort of start where things began, and things began in the mind of David Schmidt and his team. He's our CEO and the inventor of X39. At this point, he has over 200 patents, which is not a small thing. It's not easy to get a patent. It takes a lot of money and a lot of time and energy to get patents passed. He is the scientist and inventor of X39. So he's not a doctor, he's actually a scientist, which is also really quite exciting. His specialization is age reversing. And in 2008, along with a lot of people in the world, David started to focus his attention on stem cell research. The recent patent of X39 took 10 years and $4.5 million to bring it to market. So no small feat to do that. So if we just look at what patented technology is, it's not, it's really, like I said, not something easy to get a patent. You have to prove, in order for a patent to be passed, you have to prove that what you say your product does, it actually does. And it's a scientific improvement, so research that gets carried out. And so it's not just people's stories or whatever, it's actually measured and controlled environment where clinical trials are done, and from that you then are able to apply for patents. So yeah, not a small thing that he has managed to accomplish. So although today our focus on the presentation is the X39 stem cell patch, there are other supportive products that we can, you can chat to the person who invited you. Many of them I've used myself and I've just seen incredible results with as well. But for the purposes of today, we will be focusing on X39 only. So in order for us to understand the value of the stem cell patch, we obviously need to understand why are stem cells so important. So stem cells really are cells that actually they self-renew. So what they do is, if you say have got a kidney issue, stem cells will actually kind of change themselves and become a kidney cell to be able to renew the kidney. And that's how we heal when when our bodies get injured or when we're sick. The stem cells are actually like the army that does that. The process that where they become different cells is called differentiation. So it's a scientific process, and they are really needed for the maintenance of tissue as well as repair after injury. So why X39? The fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. So we know that from small children, when they fall, they hurt their knee, cry, give them a kiss, and 2 hours later they're running around. If we fall as someone that's older, it takes a lot longer for that healing to happen, and that's because we have fewer stem cells. And any of us can testify to the fact that we can just chat to anybody and everyone's experiencing the symptoms of aging. So at birth, you have all of your stem cells that are active. and this is something that I didn't know, but by the age of 30, only half of your stem cells are actually still active, which is huge, because you sort of think 30 is like the prime of your life, but actually it's almost like, well, you know, it's downhill from here kind of thing, because you actually literally have got only half of your stem cells, which is crazy. So by the time you're 60, you've actually lost almost all of your stem cell activity. So I'm 54 this year, so I've got in a little bit sooner than there's nothing. So I'm quite excited about that. So how does X39 work? So phototherapy sounds fancy, but basically what phototherapy is, we understand that if you go into the sun, your body creates its own vitamin D. That's phototherapy. And how does it work? The little patch, which is really just no bigger than like a 2 rand coin. Within that little patch, there's a pocket of little nanocrystals. Nano meaning that you cannot see a little crystal with your eye, but they are tiny little mirrors that are enclosed within that little pillow, and those mirrors reflect your own infrared body heat and light and back into your body, and that's what then causes the activity. So non-transdermal, which for me was one of the most exciting things about the patch, because there's nothing that goes from the patch into your body. It's really just an activation of your own body's ability to heal and make itself well. So that's really exciting. There's no drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants, and it's a non-invasive product. So what are the benefits of X39? And for those of you that haven't started patching yet, this is the most exciting thing, because anybody that has started patching, whether they've been patching for a month, 2 months, each of us have experienced some kind of benefit. So for some people, it does, like Trish said, it takes a little bit longer. My daughter Rebecca is also on the call. It's taking her longer. But it's really to be seen as a wellness product. So the benefits are that you experience increased strength, mental clarity, reduced inflammation, restored muscle or skeletal conditions, increased stamina, improvement of sleep. That's like, you know, we could close the presentation right there after improvement of sleep, because all of us know what the benefit, how that makes you feel so much better. Energy and vitality, improved skin appearance, and really just, and I can testify to this, an overall feeling of wellness, physical, mental wellness. You feel buoyant, and you know, I haven't felt like that for a very long time. So that's really very exciting. What are the long-term results? So these again, there's 2 websites that will give you the information for. The one that this information comes from is called thisisit.info.com. And if you someone like me that took 8 months to have a look and have a look and have a look, that's your go-to place. There is a multitude of information, case studies, all kinds of things on there. But really the long-term results are that within the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. And that's huge. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes more balanced, and there are scans that actually show that. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. Now, obviously, as a woman, we hear collagen and we get excited, but the reality is that collagen is a building block for bones, muscles, tissue. So while we love the fact that it improves our skin and our hair, more importantly, it actually is a great building block within your body. And then within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. So David Schmidt says something that kind of went over my head initially until I really thought about it, is that it's not anti-aging, it's actually age reversing. So within 6 months, your heart actually begins to reverse in age. That's amazing. So as I refer to the brain scan, this is a topography map scan of a 77-year-old woman who was a participant in one of the clinical trials. So in session 1, the scan shows that her brain is inflamed. Red and orange are inflammation. There's lack of coherence in her brain. And so they place the X39 patch on the back of her neck. Within 3 weeks, you can see like a radical improvement in the inflammation in her brain. Her brain's a lot more coherent. And there's that inflammation thing is, and those of us that have lived with inflammation know how that can improve your life. And then within 6-week period, there was a complete turnaround. So better brain coherence, and her brain. So if we don't know what we're looking for, this brain map is showing the fact that her brain was hyperactive, and within the second visit and the third visit, it had calmed down dramatically after the wearing the X39 on the back of her neck, and it just improved. The 6 weeks shows that there's a huge improvement. This is also one of the great, I think we all love, I think, in pictures. So when I see pictures, I get really excited. But if you look at the before here of someone's upper body, the inflammation in the before picture, and then you look at it in the after picture, and then like Mel can testify to this with her hands, the inflammation in your hands, how that can actually just radically change your life in the most amazing way. And really the hand one is after only 30 minutes. So this most of our men folk would enjoy, but really just like it's ridiculous how the hair grows. And Amanda's husband sent pictures the other day. It's actually just so exciting, and a game changer. So LifeWave do not believe in endorsing athletes. So these athletes and sports people that you see here that are patching are doing so of their own accord. And that's huge as well, because they're not going to do something that could potentially jeopardize they're getting disqualified because of stimulants and all of that kind of thing. Michael Phelps was actually disqualified because of his great results, and then they had to then reinstate his medals because he did so well. So, and there was no stimulant. So that's really amazing. So how do we wear the patch? Really, really simple. 12 hours on and 12 hours off. The 12 hours off allows your body just to repair and rejuvenate and kickstart. Once you finish with the patch, you throw it away, or you can, I take my patches and put it on my little puppy that's going blind, my little dog, not puppy, but that's going blind. I just patch it, put it onto her collar, and then she wears that the next day. So you'd never reuse a patch. You literally can, there is a little bit of life in it, so you can put it on a dog, or sometimes I put it on my children when they've got a little bit of sickness or whatever. And then the next morning you put your new patch on and you repeat that. So 12 hours on, 12 hours off, really, really easy. You can wear more than one patch at a time. And when we say that, we don't mean 2 X39s, because that would be a waste. But there are those other supplementary patches that we saw at the beginning of the presentation. You can wear those more, X39 and another patch. And then very, very important is to make sure you drink plenty of water. This is a game changer. This, for me, sped up my the way that X39 worked for me. And it works even better if you add a little bit of electrolyte or Celtic salt to it. So David Schmidt advises to use the patches for a minimum of 90 days to achieve optimum results. So this is a wellness product. And I think when you're in a place of difficulty, you want quick results, but we have to understand it's a wellness product. So as you use it more and more and more, you are going to experience more results. So you really need to be patient and committed, because it's really, really well worth your time, your effort. But having said that, there are many of us that have actually experienced results within weeks, days, hours, minutes, or seconds. Our bodies are not all built the same, and the causes of certain conditions are often different. The most common reason for lack of response to the patches is dehydration, like I said. So it's really, really important and the person that introduced you can help you with what electrolytes and all of that kind of thing. And then This Is It info, like I said, thisisit.info.com is great bedtime reading and listening and looking, because there's just a wealth of information, really exciting testimonials. Yeah, it's wonderful. So X39 is so sophisticated, yet it is actually just so simple. Like I said, the testimonials are life-changing and emotional, and the best thing about it is that it absolutely works. And those of us who are on the call and are catching can testify to that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mandi. You did an awesome job. Doesn't sound like it was your first time. So perfect presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Beautifully
Thank
done.
you, Amanda.
Beautifully done. Guys, now we get to the part where I really, this excites me every single time. I can't wait for the testimonies. So I'd like to ask Imogen, are you going to be able to share with us what you shared with me yesterday? I was just telling my husband, I was so excited. So I'd love for you just to share. She's only patched 2 weeks now. And yeah, I'd love for you to be able to share with the other people what you told me last night. Just press on the screen again, and then that button in the bottom. Okay, if you're struggling, while you're struggling, Mel, maybe would you like to tell us what happened to you? Mandi was just pushing you into that already.
Sure, no problem. So I started patching beginning of February, and the reason why I wanted to patch was to see if I could get some relief from. Sorry, am I on still?
Yes, you're on.
Try and see if I can get some relief for my my hands. I was battling with arthritis. My mom always jokes that her fingers are so so bad that when she points somewhere, it's a different direction. And I was like, there's no ways that I want to be like that. And so I started patching, and I think within about 2 days, I really felt like the inflammation had gone down. It wasn't so, it was just like throbbing and aching, and I wasn't having that. And then within about 2 weeks, when I woke up in the morning, I didn't have that that pain as well, and the tightness. It's hard to explain, but it just felt like there was freedom again and movement in my fingers. The inflammation on my little finger where the little knobble is had gone down, and it's gone back to like quite a natural, my natural skin color. And so yeah, I wasn't taking any of my anti-inflammatories anymore. I wasn't taking any supplements. All I was doing was the X39 patch.
You know, for somebody might think, oh, it's just a finger, but it can be life-changing, right? Just that little thing can influence your life so much if you're aware of that the whole time. Bye-bye, Fikile. Thank you. So thank you so much for sharing that, Mel. Thank you. And we're waiting for all the others and the new things that's going to happen. And I know that's happening already. Okay, thank you so much. Imogen, would you like to try again to unmute? You're still struggling. You're still struggling. Okay, no problem. You guys will just have to wait till the next time. Maybe you can type it out for us and put it on the group. That would be really awesome. Okay. Guys, I'm going to ask Mandi to share her testimony, because I'd like to hear you guys hear the whole story, because it's really, I know Doria hasn't heard that, and it's really, really awesome. So thank you, Mandi. I'd love for you to share. We've got enough time. You can share in detail.
Thank you. Thanks, Amanda. So in 2016, I was diagnosed with ME, which is very similar to fibromyalgia, very similar sort of family of illnesses. So really debilitating chronic pain in your joints, and just every sort of part, like a deading, like ache. Very tired. It's now sometimes referred to as chronic fatigue syndrome, but it's like that terrible tiredness where you are, you want to cry just at the thought of getting out of bed. Constantly just putting on a brave face, medicating myself, incredible brain fog. So your words sometimes get mixed up, and it it really just robbed me of my personality, of just everything. It was really awful. I was bedridden for 1.5 years. Had a carer to help me bath and all of that kind of thing. And then slowly started to manage it with medication, a lot of medication. But it was the kind of thing, if I decided that I wanted to go for a walk on the beach, then I had to cancel everything for the next 2 days, because I knew that I would be in bed out of action for 2 days. I had my son was like 4, and so that was really heartbreaking, just seeing this little person on my bed the whole time. That was kind of where we lived. And so for many years after that, you know, worked around the pain, worked around the tiredness. You know, there were often times where I made arrangement to see friends on the weekend, and by the time the weekend came, I had to cancel, because I just knew couldn't make it. So it just really robbed me of so much. But like I say, you know, you get used to that. You get used to this is your life. You kind of have to embrace it. You manage it with pain, sleeping tablets, all of that kind of thing. And then last year I found a lump on my breast, and thankfully it turned out to be benign, but I got a real fright. And then I was in menopause, I was in perimenopause for a while, and then full-blown menopause. Now I've got to start looking at HRT patches, and in amongst, just actually, as I found out about the lump, Trish spoke to me about a LifeWave. So it was like right about May last year. But like I say, I'm quite skeptical. And to be honest, I had actually got so used to my life like this that it becomes part of your identity. Now someone tells me that a patch is going to revolutionize everything, and I'm like, no, actually I'm fine, you know. Until then, I had to now see a hormonal person, and was thinking, now, do I go on the HRT patch because of this lump? And the one day I was just thinking, like, I made an appointment at the hormonal thing, the doctor, I forget what they're called, and Trish happened to phone. Trish is my insurance broker, and she happened to phone about something, and she mentioned the patches. And then I thought, you know what have I got to lose? I'm going to be on a patch. It might as well be this other patch. So I signed up, and within 2 days, did not need sleeping tablets. Slept through, even with the sleeping tablets, I'd wake up 2, 3 in the morning. First time I slept through probably since I had Rebecca 28 years ago. So that was like the weirdest feeling. And then through one circumstances, whatever, I was going up to Lesotho, and I forgot all my medication behind, except for the patches, because they were in my purse. And so for 3 days, I knew I was not going to have medication. Normally, I panicked, because I thought I'm not going to, the minute one thing went out of kilter, it was hospital or whatever. So anyway, 3 days went by, suddenly realized there's no pain. And it's funny, the other day I hurt my foot, and normally I would have in my purse my Disprin, my Panado, my Marbulin, my Pramaset. So, kind of, I had a whole thing for every kind of pain. And now I'm looking for pain, and everyone's like, where's your stash? We call it my stash. Where's your stash? I'm like, I don't need stash anymore. I actually have not used a strong pain medication since the beginning of February. So what that does is it completely changes the way you parent. It changes the way you're a wife. It changes the way, I exercise now, and I don't have to plan it. I don't have to say, do I exercise or do I do that? I can get up, go for a swim. I've got a personal trainer that comes, that's helping me, and it's just like, I actually can't believe that it's my life, because I really thought this is going to be how my life is going to be, and I functioned. It's not like I didn't function. I did function. Many times people didn't know that the levels of pain, because you get tired of saying that. You get tired of being the person that's in pain or whatever. And now, just to be able to do whatever you feel like doing. Like that for me is, I just am so incredibly grateful for that. And like I was saying the other day on one of the calls, I've had incontinence since I can remember, and now even that's gone. So I don't have to rush, like everybody makes way for me when I land in the driveway, I don't have to do that anymore. So that's not something that you kind of just think, oh, that's a mild thing. But that's something that, I'm also obviously really grateful for. So, yeah.
It's so special. Thank you, Mandi. Thank you for sharing in so much detail. I know there's many more things, but thank you. I know this call is being recorded and that's going to help other people as well. So thank you for sharing so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. It's special. Imogen, I'd love to hear.
Yes, Amanda. I wasn't going to share this at this
know.
time, but I know you're twisting my arm. And why I was hesitant to share it is because if what has happened is a miracle, because I've had this condition and it's a neurological condition in this eye area here, and I've been to neurologists and they could not fix it. And what would happen is that my eye would just involuntarily close, and I just want to see. I've just appeared off the thing here. It would close, and then I would also. It was almost like I was winking. I should say to people, "Look, I'm not winking at you. It's just my my eye that ticks. I've got an eye tick, and I mean, I've just lived with it for maybe. I've had it so long, I cannot remember. It could be 10, 15, 20 years. It's more than 10, and it's a very irritating and also frustrating because your eye would just close, and even when I was lying down at night, sometimes I could actually feel the tick against my pillowcase, and it was really quite debilitating. And I started the patch on 18th of March this year, and then I spoke to Amanda the other day, and she said, "Well, what benefit do you think you've had?" And I said, "Well, I'm so healthy. There are some other things like my bones and all that I'm concentrating on now as well." And I said, nothing that I can say it's like something I've experienced straight away that has happened. But then after we finished our discussion, I was thinking about it, and I thought, you know what? And just suddenly I realized I didn't have this eye tick. Now, for me, that is quite a revelation, because I think when you've lived with something so long, you get quite used to it being there and you don't even know when it's ticking or it's not ticking. And then I thought, well, okay, I'm just gonna like monitor it and see what happens, because most times, if someone would say to me, "Oh, is there something wrong with your eye?" or "I can see you got a tick," then suddenly the eye would start ticking even more. Like it's almost like you're so conscious of it, it starts going into overdrive. And since I've spoken to Amanda, that tick has not come back. So I am hoping, and look, miracles work, eh? Miracles happen. So God is good. That tick's going to be gone. And I'm just thankful that if it's the patch, hallelujah, because then I will just keep on with the patch. So that for me, was quite a thing, yeah. So I'm very grateful.
Why I wanted you to say that, Imogen, how many people start the call or start something and then they say, I don't know if it's my imagination. But we know by now that it's not your imagination. It is the patches working, even though it doesn't make sense. And that is...
I don't know how it can work on the neurological area, because that is inoperable. It's an area that they can't tamper with, because there's just too many nerves in that area. So, yeah.
And that's why we can't keep quiet.
That's the only difference.
Yeah, that's why we can't keep quiet, because it's like, it might people might think it's something small, but it can be life-changing, even the small things. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're
okay,
welcome.
guys, let's continue to the rest of the presentation. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about, I just want to press a button or two. about the, where is, there we are, about the rest, the second part of this presentation. So first of all, I'm going to ask you, what is the most important thing in your life? What is there in your life that maybe you would like to change or have different? Maybe something in your family, your time, how you spend your time, more freedom, better security, maybe financial security, or maybe you want to travel, want better health, less debt. Let's see what LifeWave can do for you. So when I started, I reviewed everything, and it took me a long time as well. It felt like a long time. And it was very important to me to know that this isn't a scam, because I haven't heard about anything strange like this before. And hearing that this company was already 20 years old was very good for me to hear. And knowing that they're already in 75 countries, more than 80 countries now, actually. And it's not a Me Too product. So what is important here is that, as Mandi was saying, the X39, we still have 15 years on this patent left. So nobody else can market this, can tell other people about it. Nobody can make this. So sometimes there are really great companies with great products, but there are many others. And when the economy hits people, then they will go to the, the pharmacy around the corner or the China shop around the corner and just get whatever they need there, But with us, we are the only people who can market this for the next 15 years on the X39. And just look at this turnover. This company up to 2021 was about $20 million turnover, which isn't bad at all. But look what happened in 2022. And this is right in COVID, but this was after X39 was launched. It jumped up to $320 million, then $430 million. And last year it was over $600 million. And this year, the CC team suggests that we are going to reach $1 billion in 2025. So you can see there, LifeWave was ranked the #1 momentum company by a company called businessforhome.org. And we actually got it for the second year in a row, for 2023 and 2024. You can see on this pink line how it has grown incredibly. We had a 3,000% growth from 2018 to 2024. That's just amazing. You can also see that we got the AAA plus rating for both 2023 and 24 from Business from Home, and it places LifeWave along the elite 5% of companies evaluated by businessforhome.org. So this is just an amazing company that we are involved with. And this is just bragging a little bit. This is on the Direct Selling News Bravo Growth Award that we were presented, and also for 2023 and 2024. But I love the picture on the right is where David Schmidt was awarded with an honorary doctorate by the International Hall of Fame of Inventors. And that's because he had over 200 patents. That's not a small feat. Okay, so you looked at this presentation and maybe you're interested now and you wonder, where now? Where do I go from now? What is my buying options? How can I get this amazing product? So first of all, you can become a customer, and we're just talking X39. It will then retail to you at full retail price at $149 per month for a month's supply. Or you can become a preferred customer. Then you will get the wholesale price of only $100. So it's about a third cheaper. You will have no registration fee, but you will have a monthly order, and that makes it very easy to get your products every month. You just click a button and every month it will come to you. The other option that I like very much is the brand partner option, and that is where you also get the wholesale price. Always get that. You will have a $25 registration fee, but you will have no monthly obligations. You can buy when you want to, what you want to, and you get your own website and you order what you want to order with no obligations. But the nice way with this brand partner option is you also have a business opportunity if you want to make use of that. Even if you don't want to, you're always going to get it at wholesale with no monthly obligation. So if you do decide to make use of the brand partner option, there's enrollment packages. And what the enrollment packages actually are, they just help you to buy in bulk. And then, of course, you're going to get more discount. Something that also always makes my life light up. I like discounts. I like bargains. Okay. So as I said previously, there's no joining fee. And ideally, you would like to start on the core option at least, because remember, as Mandi was saying to us, David Schmidt suggests that we go do this for 90 days, so 3 months. And with the core option, you buy your X39 for 3 months already. You make a decision that I'm going to give this product 3 months to work at least, and you're going to get it for a little bit cheaper. Instead of paying $300, you're going to pay only $295. If you want it even cheaper and make even a better commitment, you can go into the advanced option where you will only pay $535 for 6 sleeves of X39. And if you have a large family or you're a serious entrepreneur, you can even look at the premium option where you will only pay $1,750 for 20 sleeves. What I also like about this option, these options, is that you can mix and match. So you can mix, you can, for instance, take one of your X39s and exchange it for 2 of the secondary sleeves. So maybe an Eon or Ice Wave, which works with the inflammation or the pain. But the person who invited you here will be able to explain that to you. But I want to tell you about another option. When I started, I definitely did not have money to start on the core option. But I'm very grateful that I could start on another option. And this is with the starter enrollment. You pay the $25 US dollars to do your yearly startup fee, but then you can buy whatever you want to. You can buy one X39 and start off with that. And maybe even like what I did, I borrowed money to get my second one, but by then I was telling everybody and everything changed for me. And so this is just to tell you there is another option for you to start if you couldn't start with core or advanced, and speak to the person who invited you. They'll explain to you about all the different options. Okay, let's talk about the business opportunity just quickly. What I love about this, you can see the dollar bags. So that is because we get paid in dollars and we get paid weekly. So that's very nice. And I'm not going to go into detail. This is not the purpose of this presentation, but there are 5 different ways that you can earn if you want to make use of the business opportunity. So there's a retail option. You can, the moment you join, you get your own online shop and people can buy from you directly. You don't have to carry any stock ever. There's also the introduction bonuses as you introduce people to the into the business, even if they don't want to do the business, but you introduce them to this opportunity, you will get an introduction bonus. There's cycle bonuses, and that is what's the exciting part, is as there are people in your team, whether they are doing the business or whether they are only using the products and just making use of the wholesale option, everybody that orders product, there are points connected to that, and as the points build up, you will get cycle bonuses. There's also matching bonuses, and that is where you help your team to succeed, and trips and rewards that you will be able to qualify for, but we're not going to go into detail with that. Just going to quickly explain the compensation plan just very quickly. It is working on a binary system, which is just a fancy name to say there are 2 legs. It's 2 is binary. You've got a left team and a right team. You're sitting in the middle, and you just add people either on your left leg or on your right leg. You help them to get the best option for them. And all you have to do is, if you know 4 people, you can go to manager. And why we always talk about wanting to go to manager is that opens up the whole compensation plan for you. Before you're a manager, you are limited to $100 a week, which is not nothing. It's also very nice. But if you're a manager, it opens up and there's almost no restrictions. You can earn up to $25,000 a week. There are actually people earning that. But the person who invited you will explain this in more detail to you. So as Mandi was saying, we've got a website. This is itinfo.com. You've got to read it in sections. This is itinfo. And the reason for that is the person who started our team said, this is it. We've got the answer. This is it. All right. So on thisisitinfo.com, you will get information about the patches, about these doctors' reviews and doctors' panels, and the clinical trials and testimonies. But there's also a website if you want to do the business opportunity, make use of that. This is iteam.com. And there you will get more information about how to run the business, how to speak to people, and there's always somebody to help you. And that is what I love about this business and this company is there's always somebody to help. These Zoom calls are great to invite people to, and to just run your business in an easy way. You don't have to know much. You don't have to learn much. All you have to do is basically put that patch on the back of your neck and see the magic of X39. So David Schmidt is a very humble person, and he has got this nice saying that he says, and this is what I want to say to you as well, is you have an incredible opportunity before you today, the opportunity to bring the healing power of light to everyone around you, not only to yourself, not only to your family, but everybody that you know and care for. You can bring this light, power of light to them. And now is the time for you to make your move. I want to ask you, there we are asked you in the beginning, what is important to you? I want to ask you, are you serious about that? Because then I want to tell you that there is hope for your future. It starts with X39 and your whole life can change. So go back to the person who shared this opportunity with you. That person cares about you and wants you to succeed and wants you to help you change your life and cares for you. And I'm just thinking, Trish, thank you for getting out of your comfort zone and telling more people about it, because see how Mandi's life was changed, Mel's life was changed, because you stepped out of your comfort zone. It wasn't easy for you, but because you care, you did that, and we all have that opportunity to do that. So thank you to everybody that's been on the call. Thank you for sharing the testimonies and just being such an awesome audience. I'm going to stop the recording now so that we can give this out to other people and share this with other people. But then we'll have a short time of questions and answers. Anybody that wants to know something or say something, we are here for you. And Mandi, thank you for doing really an awesome job with your first presentation. Didn't sound like your first presentation. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.